George Noble.
Here at the European Darts Open, live from Leverkusen, and we have an England v Germany clash as S.Taylor takes on Fabian Herz. After we've seen wins for Justin Pipe, Pavel Jerko and Matthew Dennant coming from behind, 4-2 down against Madas Razma to win in a little bit of a shock, I felt, in that third match. He goes through to take on Mensa Suljevic. The winner of this one will take on one of the form horses of 2019, Gerwyn Price, in the second round in that highly congested quarter and half of the draw. But first things first, Taylor needs to get past Herz to do it. A man who's reached a final on the Pro Tour in the last 12 months. Can he get into the second round? I'm Chris Murphy. Joining me is Mr. European Tour, Dan Dawson.
I'll take that.
That's because you've never missed a European Tour. Do you like that?
No, I mean, yeah, all right. That'll do. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. S.Taylor, man we saw make the last 32 of the UK Open this year, a man who has made a Challenge Tour final this year. And a man who has made a Pro Tour final in the past. And it tends to be with S.Taylor, with this very sort of almost violent, jerky action. Some days it's going, it just flows. And he hits everything, and he hits loads and loads of big scores. That day he made a Pro Tour final, lost out to Michael van Gerwen in the final. He was smashing in 180s all the way through that run. Fabian Herz, a copper, or at least he was last time we saw him on the Euro Tour, but it has been a long while. Last year he tried qualifying for 8 Euro Tours and didn't make it through any of them.
96.
But there is a change this year to the qualification format for the Euro Tour, whereby if you're a tour card holder, you have to play in the official either Euro or UK qualifier. You can't play a host nation qualifier. So, tour card holders like Max Hopp, Martin Schindler, Gabriel Clemens, the 3 Germans, Marianovic, another one, they can't play the host nation qualifiers. Now, we had 80, more than 80 players turn up and compete for the 4 spots in the host nation qualifier here last night. Single 20 needed. Now double top, and he's blocked a part of it, and he's just cannoned straight into it.
Yeah, well, he took plenty of time over the second dart there, and then seemed to rush the third, the most important of the combination.
They're all important, Chris.
The third is the most important for Fabian Herz. He takes the first leg. Yeah, the first, you mentioned Max Hopp. I believe he was due to be seeded for this tournament, wasn't he? And failed to enter.
Yeah. Of all the ways to miss out on a tournament, forgetting to enter, not a good one.
60.
Got to enter the opening Players' Championship weekend as well. I mean, to be fair, with the way Max has been playing, he didn't show it last night in Berlin. But when we have seen him, he's averaging 96 on the tour. He's just outside the top 10 in the averages. He just hasn't played many games because he hasn't turned up.
59.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the qualifying criteria, the strength in the names that came through that European qualifier for this tournament is quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got Rema van Barneveld, the
85.
legend, the 5-time world champion. Christopher Ratajski, who picked up 3 titles last year. Back-to-back world youth champion Dimitri Vandenberg. Jeffrey Disvani reached the semis at the match play and picked up a title last year. Kim Huybrechts, who's won on the European Tour. And Vincent van der Voort, who could perhaps be accused of being the weakest link in the field, despite reaching back-to-back quarterfinals just last weekend.
And is a former Euro Tour champion himself, of course.
Yeah, winner in Austria, wasn't he?
Remember he beat in the final?
I'm going to suggest it was Jamie Caven.
You suggest correctly, Murph. Weekend where Caven took care of Phil the Power Taylor.
60. Scores you
Well, the 1-3-2 for Scots.
Oh, that is brutal.
40.
Only knocks 40 off the score. Fabian might think that if he can set this up at least, he could make it 2-0. That's all he can do from here.
Taylor still
59.
seething after the brutal bounce out from the ball, but he might be smiling in a moment.
Nicely tied it up to break straight back in this one.
The next got to throw first. Game on. 100.
Yeah, all of those European qualifiers are played at the same time, well, not exactly the same time, but in the same venue, straight after the UK qualifiers now. I suppose the players do have the advantage that they're already in Barnsley or Wigan, or wherever the Pro Tour is taking place the following couple of days. But if you're wondering why only 6 of them come through compared to the much greater number 18 UK qualifiers, it's just purely down to the number of entries, the number of people participating. It is roughly a fair split.
97.
There are some big names from the UK qualifiers too. Mervyn King, of course. I think the one that is everybody is waiting to watch is Glenn Durrant, who will be in action tonight.
Yeah, Mervyn King looking to set up a tie with Michael van Gerwen. Glenn Durrant, a potential third-round opponent for MVG. Could be a Durrant versus Merv game, or neither of them could get through their opening games, of course.
100. Scores you require 100.
Merv taking on Jason Wilson. Durrant taking on Michael Rosenauer. That's tonight, when we'll probably have a few more in. Double top for Scott Taylor. Does not move back to the centre of the oche. Threw that across. Over to the top right corner, and maybe not moving back to the centre of the oche proved the problem.
A couple of times in the first 3 legs that he's taken little care with the dart at double, but this time he's got 3 more and only needs 1 to hit the front.
So Andy Hamilton, Kevin Burness and Steve West in qualifying for this. Scott Taylor. Fabian Herz, meanwhile, won 4 games in the host nation qualifier last night. Nothing enormous in the averages from Fabian. It was all in the sort of, it was between 78 and 87 in his 4 games. Now, if you think he goes and replicates that against Scott Taylor, you would think that Scott will have enough to hold him off, but no guarantee, of course.
Looking for a treble to leave himself a finish, but he was somewhere aware.
He does have those darts, Scott Taylor. It's that sort of explosive action that he's got, where there seems to be, it's not just the arm moving, there's shoulder, there's all sorts. It's really sort of jerky at times, and so when he misses, sometimes he can miss by quite a long way. Either he drags it down, or his shoulder just launches it up towards the double rather than the treble. Herz won't take the 1-4-2, but he will put a hole in it.
95. Scores you require 141.
Can Taylor take the 1-4-1? He might. Bill can, double 12. Well, he's put a huge hole in that, but the minuscule margin of the miss has given Herz a chance, although he's not making the most of it thus far. Only 1 dart rather than 2. Ooh.
Fabian, stop it, it hurts. 3-1. Yep. 3 on the spin. 2 of them breaks a throw. Scott Taylor taking control of this one. The man from Bolton.
They're looking to inflict a 6th consecutive European Tour defeat on Fabian Herz. 5 times he's appeared on the Euro Tour and 5 times he's failed to win.
Well, you would think with the change to the qualification now, so Clemens, Marjanovic, Schindler, Hopp, they're not playing in the host nation qualifiers. They've still got 4 spots for all these tournaments in Germany this year. And I think partially those big names not being in the field, it might encourage larger fields and the likes of Fabian Herz to come and keep on giving it a go, because they think they've got more chance of qualifying. And first round on a Euro Tour is £1,000 in your pocket, which currently, you know, you change that to euros and that's, well, €1,000 pretty much. But you might see the likes of Fabian getting more opportunities, and as we have seen, the more opportunities you get, the more opportunities you have to improve, and the more chances you've got to become competitive.
Will he get many, if any, more opportunities in this match? Because Taylor is poised on a 2-darter to open up a 4-1 lead. And if he does so, it becomes very much about the next leg.
56.
He's looking at 2 double 19s there, Scott Taylor. Nothing wrong with that as a choice of shot, with Fabian on a makeable checkout. Needs treble 17 and bull though. Not going to get it.
53.
So, to rattle off a 4th leg on the trot. Exactly what he gets.
Scott Taylor. Silver Fabian to throw first. Game on.
Had a decent run at the UK Open, Scott Taylor, didn't he? He claimed 3 victories, and impressive ones as well, beating Darius Labanauskas, Kevin Burness and Vincent Kamphaus before being edged out in a last leg decider in a race to 10 legs against Mickey Mansell.
Yeah, again, what we've always found with Scott Taylor is there are days where he looks really good, but they haven't been enough. Even that Pro Tour final that we saw him go and make, it wasn't enough to prevent him losing his tour card ultimately in that little 2-year segment. It was back end of April last year. And at that point, Scott Taylor, you were thinking, well, maybe he's clicked. Maybe this can be the start of something big. But then for the next 2 months, he didn't win a single pound on the Pro Tour. Oh, tell a lie, he won 1 game. There's 500 quid. Everything else, it was defeat after defeat. 58. And just when you thought that, oh, well, this is his platform now to kick on, it just did not happen. In the end, he was back at Q School in Wigan at the start of the year.
100.
And that didn't go well either.
Well, as you alluded to earlier, that's his inconsistencies are often present during a single match, because in this leg he failed to find anything much, and then all of a sudden produces a 177 to leave himself on double 14.
Well, he's on a 2-darter, Fabian. And he's going to get a look at it.
Might only be a dart at the ball unless he can find treble here. Has done. 2 at double 18, and he only needs 1. And the 3 darts missed at double 14, followed by that finish. That could be a huge moment in this match. Had Taylor hit with any of those 3 darts, he'd now be throwing for a 6-1 win.
Well, it's 2.5 years since Fabian Herz did qualify for a European Tour event. He managed to get 3 legs against Jermaine Watermainer on that occasion. That was the European Darts Grand Prix at the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen. Most of his Euro Tour appearances Came in 2016.
96.
A couple of them anyway. The other two were back in 2014. So it's been a long while since he's been a regular on the European Tour. But, as we say, things have changed now, so maybe it's an opportunity for Fabian.
91.
Well, at the moment, it's not one he's really seizing. There is a chance here, though. He's probably favourite in this leg at the moment. He certainly is after that dart.
But he's going to force Scott to take out the biggest finish of the lot.
85.
He seemed to duck on that last dart. He's probably about 7 foot tall when he throws, and then that last dart is about 6.5.
100.
He's made it harder for himself than it should have been.
66, just checking the score. So it has to be 16 and bull. Bullseye. Ooh, the 1, 2, 3, not a million miles away, and it really would have been game on had that gone. However, Scott Taylor, the old Mensor route for the 70.
66.
Double 4 is not there. And Herz now to go within a leg.
Do not miss the big number, and he has. So once again, just one dart at double. But once again, he finds it. Herz now throwing to restore parity in a match that he perhaps should have lost a long time ago. This is the first of 13 events in 2019. The first couple of events in 2018 saw finals contested by Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Wright, with MVG coming out on top in both of them. Last year was the first year in which the format was extended to the semis and finals, and they got full value for money here in Leverkusen immediately. Had it remained the old format, Peter Wright would have picked up the title. MVG won it 8-7. And that format, of course, those of you who've been watching us on the Players' Championship circuit on PDC TV, has been spread across for those events as well.
Fabian Herz is on the verge of doing something he's not done before, as Scott Taylor piles in the first maximum of this contest to leave himself a 2-darter. I said he was on the verge. He was looking good to pick up a 4th leg, which he'd never done before. In his 5 previous attempts, he's been whitewashed a couple of times. And gone out 6-3 in all the others. But 2 misses from Scott Taylor.
Yes, 180, come on.
I tell you what, that's not bad. Now, Scott, he goes straight at this double 9. He does, and he pins it, and that's a nerveless dart to break straight back for Scott Taylor, and a very, very important one. He has 2 chances to hold his throw and go through here. But it has not been straightforward, this. That's a lot better, though. 2 maximums in this game. They've come in this leg and the previous one, just when Scott Taylor was looking in some serious bother.
And now he fires in a 4th perfect dart, but can't find the 5th.
100.
Taylor turning on the turbo.
I'm not sure
100.
the long arm of the law, Fabian Herz, the German copper, is going to be able to grab hold of him and drag him back. This is an excellent leg of darts from Scott Taylor.
But you're going down the line of saying he was unable to arrest this losing streak on the European Tour.
No, I thought I'd just leave it there and wait for the inevitable Murph pun. Lovely darts.
71.
But 1 dart missed for the match. Was that the right route? That's the question. Problem is, when you go 42 for double 10, things you can miss inside, and then things start getting messy. You're already on a small number. But double 5, see, now it gets messy. Now he's in the madhouse. And it doesn't matter anyway. Scott Taylor does close it out. 1-1 gets the job done. 15 data. And Scott Taylor condemns Fabian Herz to a 6th consecutive first-round defeat on the European Tour. We shall see if we see plenty more of Herz over 2019. With the changes to the qualified format, it might be an incentive for some of the lesser-known German players to keep on plugging away. But Scott Taylor will take on Gerwyn Price in the second round of the European Darts Open. Coming up, UK Open quarter-finalists Ross Smith and Ricky Williams.
Second round, playing a German in Germany, difficult?
Definitely difficult. They supported him really well and struggled a little bit in between, and he started hitting things, so made it hard.
Ich habe ihn gefragt, ob es schwierig ist, gegen einen Deutschen in Deutschland zu spielen. Und sagte, ja klar, das ist nicht einfach. Klar stehen die Deutschen hinter ihren Dartspielern. Das ist aber auch verständlich. You were 4-1 up and then he started pulling a few back. Did you get nervous then?
Yeah, definitely. He started hitting everything, and I wasn't hitting. I couldn't even hit a big number and keep it together.
Nachdem er 4-1 vorn war, dann kam Fabian nochmal ran auf 4-3, sagte, da hat er dann plötzlich alles getroffen. Da bin ich dann auch ein bisschen nervös geworden, sagte, er ist einfach froh, dass er das fertig hat. Next round, Gerwyn Price awaits, the Iceman. You might have the crowd on your side against him.
I'll have to play a lot better than I did then, but hopefully they can cheer me on and that comes through. So.
In der nächsten Runde wartet der Iceman Gerwyn Price auf ihn. Ich habe gesagt, da könnte es durchaus sein, dass es das Publikum in Leverkusen auf seiner Seite hat. Er sagt, er hofft natürlich drauf, dass er unterstützt wird und muss aber dann viel besser spielen als heute. Wir sagen, herzlichen Glückwunsch, Scott Taylor! Wir machen jetzt eine Pause bis 5